Okay, guys, welcome to a Dayton Tuesday Roundup where we go through the run list in my local IAAI in Dayton, looking for opportunities. Alright, first car is an '06 Cobalt with 265K. Original title, looks pretty clean. Miles are too high. I'm not into Cobalts. Keep going. I got an '06 Rendezvous. Keep going. Too rough. We got a Jeep Liberty. I'm definitely not into these cars, but looks like a clean unit. I am more into Toyotas basically. An Escape. Have had bad experiences with these. A couple blown motors. We'll keep going. An '03 Voyager. I don't know if this is a short body. It's a 4 cylinder, so that's a no-no. And this is interesting. An '04 LeSabre, 187K, looks clean. It's stationary, but airbags are intact. So I'll take a look at this. We have had 3 of these in the past. The issue is on the sell side. Really not sure if you're able to get more than 1,500 for these. This one looks clean. It's the limited. It's the leather. Engine cover is still intact, and this console cover is intact. These are usually gone and busted. So primary damage is on the left side. It looks minor. Maybe a scratch on the fender. It's a salvage title. It's not a big deal at this age and mileage, but it's stationary, so kind of not sure why it's stationary. So I will add this to the watch list. Pacifica, no. Keep going. Another Pacifica, keep going. Another Pacifica, we'll keep going. We've got a Civic here that is stationary. I've never really been into Hondas. So I'm just gonna kind of keep going. We got an '04 Accord, 253 on the miles. Looks decent, also stationary. Saturn Iron, definitely no. So we got a big old Bourbon with 300,000 miles. I'd prefer a pickup truck to this. So just keep going. We've got a rough '95 Civic. Keep going. Don't see the value. We've got an '08 Civic. Now we do a lot of Scion TCs. Like I said, never really done too many Hondas, but this is pretty much right, pretty similar to a TC, right? It's a coupe, 4 cylinder, peppy. The primary damage on this is the right front with the salvage title. It's a manual. So I will add this to the watch list. It's a runner driver. It looks like it needs a paint job. So yeah, I'll add that to the watch list. That's interesting. Like I said, we do a lot of TCs, so why not do a Civic Coupe? We've got an '04 Tahoe. I'd prefer a pickup truck. This one looks clean. It's a Z71 package. But not really what we're looking for right now. A 10 Malibu. This is a good looking car. I have a buddy who fixed one of these up. Out of the price range, I'm sure this will go for at least 5 before fees. So we'll keep going. Same thing with this '08 truck with the clean title. We're trying to keep things low. 2,500 max, because you always get hit pretty hard with fees on IAAI. Here's a 2000 Silverado, probably above our price range. An '04 Beetle. These are strange little cars. You'll get people who still like the look, This is an original clean title charity deal. It's stationary, so something's up with it mechanically. Is it that 1.8? Is it the trans? No, it's also a manual. Manuals. I'll just leave it. It's probably won't end up being worth the hassle. I thought Honda would be a better move. We've got, minivans at a time. People were looking for cheap minivans, but I don't have much luck with them. Alright, so a 98 Ranger, we've had a few of these, even older. You get these with a V6, and they're great little work trucks. This one looks really clean, another clean title. Damage is all over, so it's probably got a lot of dents and dings. Looks like it needs tires. Interior looks clean. So I'll put this little truck on the watch list. I think the thing with these that's nice is you can keep it and run it as a shop truck and drive it for sale. We've done that in the past and pretty much always gotten our money back. Step side. An Avenger, no, we've had one of these. It was a dog. Again, not really messing with minivans. The '05 Civic, probably out of our price range. A 98 Savannah cargo van. So I will look at this and I'll add it to the watch list. Original stationary, so it's got a mechanical issue. I wonder what the issue is. The body looks like it's in great condition. So probably end up out of my price range because the body is so clean. It's a picture of the transmission dipstick. Is that a hint at what's going on with it? Got one key. Let's do the 360 view. Yep, it's clean. And the interior view. Let's see what this one was outfitted with. I thought I saw a bed back there. We got the captain's chairs. And maybe that back bench is folded down into a bed. Yeah, so this would be a neat, basically camper van. I'll put it on the watch list, see what it goes for. I just started looking for these. I would even like a G20 or G30 van, so I'm willing to go that far back. This 2000 Camry is interesting. It's on blocks right now, so you'd need a set of wheels. You could get one used for cheap. But 2000 is pretty far back, so I'll keep scrolling. I've never messed with a fire damaged car, which is this Avalon. So I'll just keep going on that. 2000 Honda. Whew. It's kind of high on the miles. Impala. Too rough. 01 Expedition. Too old. I passed on the Chevy SUVs, so I'll pass on this too. And 02 F-150 with the buy now 750 with the 4.2. Okay, so that's interesting. It's a runner driver, right side damage. See the rust down there, typical. There's the big dent in the bed. So, I mean, this is interesting. This would probably be a better shop truck than the Ranger. So, I'll add it to the watch list. At a 750 buy now. Let's do a cost calculator on this. 1,088 out the door. That really ain't bad for a work truck. So I'll add this to the watch list. Focus, we used to do a lot of these in the past, and then you just couldn't really find them anymore. And then people really weren't trying to pay, so I think the time for that is past. 04 Lexus, I would love a Lexus. We'll take a closer look at this, even though it's looks dinged pretty hard. What is this? Suspension front. I think what scares me with this is with that repair, where would you be at? So this car would be a great shipping candidate. Ship this joint to Nigeria as is, have them fix it there. I'm not really looking to do that right now, so I'll close that. Another wagon, we'll leave that alone. Sonata, likely above price range. Cougar, too old. This would be interesting. This range. It's obviously air suspension is out. It's sitting on the bump stops. We had an LR3 before and it was constantly doing that. I fixed the air compressor once and that really helped, but then it thing blew the head gasket twice. Now this is the BMW engine. And that engine, timing belts and timing guides. Yep, it's BMW engine. I don't think I have the time to mess with this. It'd be difficult to sell, and the only reason I'd keep it is for my wife to drive it and to kind of do an overland rig. At this time, can't really mess with it. It's interesting, but I'll leave it. We got a bashed Civic. We got a new Mazda, 2 new. We got an 03 Malibu. Now my partner, he would be into this. I just don't see the upside potential on these types of units. It's a runner driver hitting the back, so let's see how bad the back is. Bumper and trunk. Yep, that's enough for me to eliminate it. A Honda Element, I don't really know much about these. I guess they're pretty much like a Scion XB. I'll just leave it. An S10, I think that red F-150 is the leader in the clubhouse as far as shop trucks. We got a high mileage Sienna, stationary. Again, not really into vans. A Versa, which is too new, gonna be too expensive. A Sorrento. We got a BMW. It's probably out of the price range. It looks pretty good. Harley, never mess with motorcycles. Another van, a newer Accord, a Lucerne that's too badly damaged. 97 Jeep. I'm not really into that. If this was like a Cherokee, I may consider it. I'm considering picking up a Cherokee as like a farm truck. But I'm not really thinking about the Grand Cherokee. An 07 Accord is probably going to be too expensive, but let's look at the damage. They say left side. Yeah, okay, that's not bad. Suspension, you could probably leave that as is. But not worth getting into at this point. A 9 F-150, which looks great. It's hitting the rear, hitting the side basically. So at that price and not worth doing the repair for us. A 99 CRV with a ton of miles. It's a runner driver. It's a rough runner driver. So kind of not worth it at this point. I mean, this might be a farm truck for me, but I've been looking for Jimmys and, like I said, Cherokees for that. O3 Sable, this is a sleeper. Chris would love this. It looks clean, looks very clean. Suspension is the damage. Alright, so it was hitting the back. So not only is it suspension, it's your whole rear fender, so that's not worth it. Because the upside on that car is maybe $2,000. A Subaru that has been hitting the side for $850, not worth it. A 14 Tundra, it's too much work and gonna be too expensive, so I'll leave that alone. A really bad off Accord with airbag deployed, I'll leave that alone. This CXL with the turbo is an interesting car because it's pretty peppy, a new style of Buick. But yeah, this is out of the price range. But this one here is mechanical and the right side. Someone will do well with that. 99 LeSabre. Chris would be into this. Me, not so much. It's just too old. And those miles and that 450 ends up being like, 9 out the door. Bad off van, bad off Durango. Another van, another Escape. Who know how I feel about those. An 11 Camry. This could get shipped, but I'll leave it alone. I'm not looking for cars to ship right now. Cadillac. I don't see the value in these anymore. I've done a power steering line on one of these and it was a pain. You've got that sideways V8. It's just a car that makes no sense to me, and you really don't get anything for the hassle. The Equinox, this is pretty much in the same category as the Escapes. 550, it starts, 200,000 miles, it's stationary, who knows, engine's knocking, we'll just move on. Again, CX-7, kind of a weird SUV. An 05 Corolla, it's a runner driver. It looks decent. I think this will go for probably over $2,000. It'll be a little bit outside of price range. So I will take a look at it. Front end right. It's on hubcaps. Okay, there it is. This is a decent car. I'll just add it to the watch list. 07 hybrid. It runs and drives. Hitting the back, it looks like. Let's get a closer look at the damage. It's not obvious yet. Alright, well, it's a pretty clean unit. So 2,600. What would that be out the door? Cost calculator. About 3,300. It's not bad. As a personal guy, I don't know if I could get 5 for it. A dealer may. I think for myself, it might be a struggle. Scion XB, this one has been up here the last 3 weeks. It's got almost 200,000 miles, and they've dropped this to 1,600 from 17. It's got a rough body, and high miles. Yeah, there it is. You got the rear bumper right by the door there. I think they're just asking too much. I think it's already on my watch list, yep, since it's come through the last few weeks. We've got an 01 4Runner. They always ask a mint for these. And you gotta be careful with them because of rust. It's an original runner driver. I just really worry about rust on these. I've come across a few which have been rusted out pretty bad. So they kind of scare me. This one looks clean. Maybe it's just a little rough. I'm gonna leave this alone. Well, I'll add it to the watch list, but see how high it goes. Ram, too expensive. F-150, too expensive. Here's another Scion, which is even more, and it's a 12. 2850. It's got a third of the miles, but it's rougher, so I'll just leave that alone. A 2017 Jeep. Two new. I mean, this is pretty much your Escape. 2250. I'm not with it. 09 Avalon, too expensive, too rough. Too rough. Good looking dually. 10 Camry, too rough. Honda S2000, really rough. And pretty much $8,000. So someone else can deal with that. '19 Touring, 14 Charger SE, 6 Sienna, again, not into vans right now. 95, not into Cadillacs, and that one looks pretty rough. Interesting. 05, which is hit in the back. I'll just leave it alone just because of that. This is an interesting car. We've had MKZs and Zephyrs before. I think it's on my watch list already. Yeah. I'll be curious to see what happens with this. It's a repo, clean title. Do they have the key? They don't have the key, yeah. So you probably just need a key for this. It'll be interesting to see what this goes for, because that's a good looking little car. So the key is just to kind of have a screening criteria in your mind so you don't spend too much time doing this. So let's go back through what I saw. We got the LeSabre with the missing key. Interesting. I didn't notice that. Clean car. I'd love it at 700 because you can't really get more than 1,500 for these anymore. We got the Civic Coupe, which is pretty much like a Scion TC. So we'll see where this goes. It's the manual. We got the Beetle, which I'm just going to X out because I don't really know who the buyer is, especially at these miles. Who would trust this little car? Right. It's got the key and it's stationary, so you gotta figure it out. If it was a Passat or a Jetta, like a full four-door car, maybe I would. And then the Ranger, work truck. The van, the F-150. The Scion. just curious on this Forerunner. Alright guys, so that's the Tuesday roundup. We'll try and keep track of prices. IAAI has made it tougher to see sales prices, so I usually just follow the auction live to see what vehicles on my watch list go for. Alright, see you in another one.